Now, the usual method of weeding is to grab a plant and just rip it out of the ground. Well, that's, first of all, it disrupts the structure of the soil. And you see here, there's a little plant of bok choy right here. And I just threw all kinds of sod and crud all over it, bent it over. So pulling a weed out by the roots ends up costing you all of this organic matter right here. See this? If I would have cut that at the base, all of this would have stayed in the ground and rotted and produced fertilizer, organic matter. This is organic. So all of this organic matter would have stayed in the soil, feeding this area. Instead, now I rip this out. The usual method is to rip it out and throw it away. Wow. That's not how I do things here. What I like to do, like I mentioned, take that off. I like to come in with my knife and grab hold of the plant and cut it at its base, just like that. I leave the roots in there. Now, some plants come back up by the root, and that just gives me another opportunity to harvest more mulch. So it's a self-perpetuating system. But you don't get that if you rip it out by the root. Sometimes if there's a large area to cover and I know there's nothing else in there that I want to keep, I'll just go in and just slide the blade along the ground and just cut the top off. Voila, done. See that? That's the beauty of a serrated knife. Clod of compost. Break that up, spread it around. See that? Now all of these grasses on this edge here, they produce this really nice, fine textured material, and this actually perfect mulch. It won't grow back. I know some people are concerned about that it might grow back, but that won't. It will at the root. And there, that's all you need to do right there. See? Now here I want to use this to do my walkways, but you could just as easily lay it down right where you chopped it. But I like to cut it and remove it from the area so I make sure that I get everything, and then put it back afterwards. Just so you can see what you're doing. Tough stem. Something like that with a large plant and a tough stem, I'll sometimes just go in and chop it up a little finer, trying to keep my fingers attached. Now, you don't want to necessarily run your blade underground too much. You might affect the plants that you want to keep. You don't know where the roots are going over here, so you don't want to necessarily do a wholesale chopping here. See a lot of people running their tillers and stuff around their plants, and I mean, you have to be damaging some of the roots of the plants that you want to harvest, right? And you don't want to do that, or I don't want to do that. So that's why I don't rip them out, because the roots of my weeds here might be intertwined with the roots of the plants that I want to keep. If they are, and they're like a clover, especially if they're a clover, by chopping the top, the roots will drop some of its nitrogen fixing nodules right in the soil around the plant that I want to fertilize. So in a way, I'm actually fertilizing my plant by doing that. This is not a perfect system, but I like the advantages it gives, and that's good enough for me. You know, I don't have a huge bank account to go out and buy all kinds of expensive fertilizer and all the different amendments that you could buy. So I do what I can afford. What's as healthy as I can afford and is readily available. Now some of these plants you might leave. If they're flowering plants or whatever, to attract bees or whatever. There's all kinds of wild plants that are actually very useful. Sometimes I leave them for a bit and chop them later. It all depends. It's a lot of work. You have to be willing to work. The only thing. Now this is a heck of a lot nicer to walk on than that slippery mud. Now as I walk on it, it does get squished into the mud. See that? And it gets incorporated into that. So, but it's a heck of a lot nicer than walking on this, right? There's some tadpoles going on. Now, for all of you who are not used to this kind of thing, I will have to warn you one thing, that putting organic matter like that in a wet environment like this ends up smelling a little bit like cow manure. So, cow manure smell is the smell of fertile earth. It has to do with the bacteria that live in the ground that actually break down the organic matter. So, when it smells like cow manure, you know you're doing a good thing. Now, it's not an overpowering smell right now, but it will have a distinctive smell. And to me, that smells of fertility. It smells of a rich soil, a good garden, and a bountiful fall harvest.